Hello, I'm Jerry Scheidbach, Brain Masseur. Get ready for your brain massage. 500,000 federal employees make over $100,000 per year. Not bad. That's almost 1 in 5 with 2.8 million federal employees as of 2011, ladies and gentlemen. Not including DoD, Department of Defense, which adds an additional 1.4 million, and that's rounded. The federal budget for these employees, that's excluding DoD, is $16 billion per year. And that does not take into account the built-in pay increases these folks get no matter what goes down with you and with me in this economy. Now, these are the jobs, these and the union jobs, that Obama labors so assiduously to protect. And how does he protect these jobs? Well, by raising your taxes. Now, I don't begrudge anyone making a good living, but when government throttles free enterprise, makes it nearly impossible to do business, refuses to release businesses to develop jobs for the so-called private sector, and then at the same time increases the squeeze on non-government workers in order to make sure the government employees don't suffer with the rest of us in this economy, well, you know what? It begins to become a problem. You understand, don't you, that it's the non-government workers who pay for the government workers to have jobs. Now, just in case that's not clear to you, let's say that again. You do understand that it's the non-government workers who are paying for the government workers to have a job. In other words, those of you in these government jobs had better wake up and start putting some pressure on the Obamster to let the American economic engine roar. Put the pedal to the metal in the free enterprise deal here we have in this country and allow our businesses to develop our resources like oil and coal and so on. What I mean is that people are going to begin resenting the idea that they have to carry all this on their backs. And listen to this president alleged. Say stuff like, everybody has to do their part. And call for shared sacrifice. When he goes on a $7 million vacation. What's this man about anyway? No president I've known in my lifetime took a $7 million 3-day vacation. It's unbelievable. And all this while he's talking this big game about everybody doing their part, you know. He uses his power of the executive order to give all federal workers a pay raise. Yeah, including the Congress, which is among many of the egregious abuses of power this president has committed since usurping the office of the presidency. Only the Congress has the power to spend money, you know. I understand that the conservative side of the Congress stepped in and stopped this and refused to take the bribe he built into his executive order to perhaps pay them off and buy them in. Thank God it didn't work in any way. Senator Rob Portman responded to this in a New Year's Eve statement when he said, quote, "At a time when our country is facing record debt and trillion-dollar deficits, the last thing Washington should do is reward itself with a pay increase. Well, duh." Michelle Bachmann, bless her heart, took it a step further and drafted a bill preventing congressional raises in 2014. Now, I would add, when every American family is struggling to make ends meet in this Les Miserables economy, paying $4 a gallon for gas, food prices creeping up on you almost weekly, although the government, you know, all the government-produced charts won't show it, we know it because we're living it. Disposable income is shrinking while jobs are difficult to find, and Obama takes a $7 million vacation. I don't know about you, that just sounds like there's something wrong with that. President alleged, hope and change Obama, goes on a $7 million vacation, attempts to violate the Constitution and give away pay raises to federal workers by executive decree. And then adding insult to injury, he has initiated by executive decree, a program whereby social services workers listen, are going to get bonuses for enrolling, for actively recruiting more people onto the SNAP. Now, SNAP, in case you don't know, is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And you need to understand, this is paid for by struggling families trying to make ends meet as it is, adjusting their own living standards down while Obama lives high and goes on $7 million vacations. SNAP was created to give families a temporary safety net. That program has already grown to a bloated $80 billion per year government handout. There's little, if any, accountability in this program. I don't know if you've really looked at this. Abuse and fraud is rampant in that system. Hundreds, thousands of people are taking advantage of it who don't qualify. Hard-working, struggling Americans are footing the bill for all this. And then get this. Obama is providing incentive to motivate these social workers to recruit, are you ready for this? Foreign nationals, migrant workers, non-citizen immigrants to apply for SNAP. All with a snap of his royal fingers and a stroke of his executive pen, he decides that this is a good time to increase the tax burden on the American people. What is this man about? Hey, he's going to give the minimum wage workers a raise too, right? I mean, he does care about the little guy, right? He's going to make sure the minimum wage working people get a raise too. Yeah, he's going to increase it to $9 an hour, which, well, anyway. And that's what he called for in his State of the Union address, you might remember. Minimum wage workers should be happy to hear it. But you have not thought it through. The rich guy doesn't pay for this. He doesn't eat at McDonald's. You know, that minimum wage hike is going to have to be paid for by somebody. And basically it's going to be paid for by you. You know? The minimum wage hike is going to push more employers to reduce hours, to reduce the number of workers they hire, and they can hire. That's what's going to happen. And they're going to pass whatever uptick they can adjust for in the cost of doing business to those who access their business. And who's that going to be? That's going to be you and me. You see? You know, the rich are not going to be touched by this. They won't even feel it. You will. It always falls in the backs of middle-income Americans, every single time. So Obama is real good about giving everybody a raise, especially his voter base. Government workers, union workers, and minimum wage earners, virtually all of whom are Obama voters, by the way. And of course, this is all done with your money. No way is he going to forego one of his $7 million vacations. That's not going to happen. He's not going to reduce his live large lifestyle. No way. No, he works too hard. He's a hard-working president. Yeah, he's working real hard at playing, 7 rounds of golf a week or something like that. And, you know, meeting with celebrities, things like that. Now, he's a real busy man because, you know, he must be so busy. This is the most busy president I have ever known. He's so busy, he couldn't get down to the Situation Room. Even when our ambassador was being attacked in Benghazi. He's so busy, he couldn't be bothered with a bunch of phone calls following up on that first call he got when he was told about all this. I guess he had to get his beauty rest or something. He didn't bother calling in for any kind of updates. He didn't lose a moment's sleep while our ambassador was being attacked and those 3 Americans with him being killed by terrorists. Didn't miss a wink. He is so busy he doesn't have time even to make certain that he has got his story straight before he trots out in front of the teleprompters and cameras and essentially tells the American people that this all went down on our ambassador by a bunch of rioters reacting to some religious movie made by some moron about the Muslim prophet Muhammad who married a 9-year-old kid. I don't know what you think about a fellow who's, what was he at that time, 60 or something like that, marrying a 9-year-old child? Hey, there's a love story for you. Hey, Sun Magazine, how about printing that in your next issue under It's Your Love Story? There you go. Why not? Muhammad no doubt loved that little 9-year-old girl, right? Or better yet, hey son, how about that chick that wants to marry her horse? That might make a good feature article for your magazine. After all, that's their love story, isn't it? Bible thump alert. Bible thump alert. I warn all of you humanist manifesto, antichrist, God haters, beware. I'm about to quote from the book our founders referenced more than any other single book that served as the foundation of our concepts of liberty and justice for all, with excerpts from that book inscribed on virtually all of our historical monuments and quoted in so many of our documents that anyone with at least that much honesty left in them would have to agree indicates that at one time, at least in the history of this nation, the book I'm going to quote from in a moment was the most revered, respected, honored, treasured book in the land. You guessed it, I'm talking about the Bible. Quote, for this cause, God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which was against nature. Now, I know I'm talking to folks who are pretty dull when it comes to spiritual things like this and don't do a lot of Bible reading and might not be able to follow that real closely. So let's make sure you get what he's talking about when he says they changed the natural use. The next verse says, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, and that's what you call it, MWM, men with men. Men with, so you know what we're talking about here, men with men working that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meat. That's in Romans 1:27 and 28. How perverse can you get? Over there at Sun, you know, you refer to the natural union of the man and the woman love story that you featured as fools in love. Ah, how cute. But then with regard to the lesbo couple that you featured in your magazine, you present that as if it was just like, you know, how sweet and how nice and how normal and how natural. That's interesting, isn't it? You refer to the heterosexual couple as fools in love, and then you got this lesbian couple. And anyway, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. And even if they don't deny Him with their lips, they deny Him with their lives. It is the fool that looks at the natural God-given anatomy of the male and female and can't see what is natural. It's unbelievable. They can't see what is clearly contrary to nature. I mean, indeed, it's the lesbo couple in your article that would be more properly referred to as the fools in love. But Obama is simply too busy, folks. He's just a busy guy. He can't be bothered with stuff like a terrorist attack on our consulate in Benghazi. Even when the ambassador is being attacked and his life is in danger, hey, he didn't have time to go to the Situation Room. Come on. And make certain that our ambassador and the 3 American lives that were being threatened on that day got all the help they needed. He didn't have time to take care of that. He can't be a hands-on fellow that takes care of business like that. He's got to get his rest, man. He had to go to Las Vegas and meet some celebrities the next day. Come on. Oh, my goodness. He didn't even have time to talk, I guess, with those who were in the Situation Room and who saw the live feed of the attack in progress and knew, according to Panetta, they knew within 2 hours that it was not a riot about some movie, it was a terrorist attack. I guess he just simply didn't have time to make sure he got updated on that intel. Busy guy. Because I don't know what else could explain why it is that he trotted out on the next day and didn't call it a terrorist attack, but instead did everything he could to make us believe it was a reaction to that movie and just a riot that broke loose. Following up on and adding fuel, adding his support and his endorsement of the movie made him do it lie that was being disseminated by his administration during that time. Hey, Joe, where are you, Joe? Calling Joe Wilson. Where's Joe Wilson when we need him? Did I hear you, Joe? Did you say, you lie, sir? The president-elect is indeed the liar in chief. There's no way, I think, he was not told the truth about what was going down in Benghazi. But anyway, my point is, apparently the president-elect does not have time to do his job. But he invests his energy in spending more and more and more of the taxpayers' money than any president in certainly my history. And taking $7 million vacations. Now, who can interfere with that? That's important stuff, huh? Right? When many of you have had to make some serious changes in your own vacation plans because so many of you can't even find a job. And the rest are struggling in this Les Miserables economy. I don't know about you, but it really is offensive to me that the president-elect would go on pretending that he cares so much about the poor when everything he is doing works to impoverish more Americans. And then adding insult to this injury, we've got to deal with a president who just doesn't have the time he needs to do his job. He's just such a busy guy, right? But always finds time to trot off to the greens and play with his 1%er buds while taking $7 million vacations. I guess it's just a sign of the times. Quote, for men shall be, Bible thump alert, Bible thump alert. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Wow. Did you think, as I read that list, of how many of those characteristics are manifest in our president today? It's unbelievable. How many of these signs of the times are showing up right in front of our eyes in the president-elect and the way he handles his administration? Obama is surely a sign of the times. I'll hold on through the break. I'll be right back.